Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people? It's Shut Door or Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of FTB Skies, and today we are actually going to be looking at quests, which I haven't really been focusing on that much. So this is the endgame tab. Also, endgame is off-center, kind of annoying, but oh well. The first one is generate 10,000 power, and what we'll actually need to do this is get a task screen, and we'll go over to the power system, set this down real quick, and then click task and say, not that one, that one's the billion. This one, accept, quest done, fantastic. Which now means that we have this done, which is a battery, flux ducts. Let's keep going. We do need 100,000 FE and buckets of honey. So we're actually going to work on getting the honey in a minute here. So we're going to do cancel 100K. Go for it. This shouldn't be a problem because we have 3 other lines of power. So that's going to fill up pretty quickly. There we go. And now what we can do is kind of figure out how we get honey. So I've kind of taken out our old house and I've added this section to the bee farm. One of the things with bees is I'm going to try and avoid bees. I don't really want to mess with bees, but we might have to in the future. But first things first, let's quickly grab one thing from the bee mod, which is called a centrifuge. Centrifuge actually allows for us to get melted down honey. And I'm pretty sure we just immediately want to get into the powered variation, which it looks like there's 2 different recipes. We'll go for that one. That one's fine. And I don't think we can get this one. And then let's grab, I want to grab a couple of these. So before we do anything further, let's actually grab a Refined Stroage wireless point transmitter thing here. And let's also grab some range upgrades. Let's look at Refined Range. I don't think we have, okay, so we do have an Infinity Booster, but I do not have a Wither Star, Nether Star yet. So we'll wait on that. But I do need to grab 4 of these. And this range is going to be awful. I already know it. We're just going to plop that right there. Do that. Yeah, that's going to be 48 blocks. And then let's get a wireless at refined crafting. So quickly here, I'm going to place down a flux controller down in this area. Probably just kind of like hide it over here. And this can be configured to shut doors network, all of that. And this should allow for me to enable wireless charging, apply, and I'm pretty sure we just kind of want to do wherever we can. Armor slots, curio slots, offhand, main hand, and this should start charging. Keyword should. Doesn't look like it's actually charging. No? Okay, so maybe I do need a basic flux storage network thing here, which let me get that. Alrighty, so now we have a basic flux storage, and we should be able to place this down, set this onto shut doors network, and that should allow for wireless charging, I hope. I genuinely have no idea, because it does not look like it's actually working. Oh, hold on. It's because it never applied. But it's okay. Now we have some amount of actual backup as well. And we can just do power surge, bypass limit, and we have a wireless grid, which means that we actually do need to connect this to our controller, which if I remember correctly, we do need to just right-click this, maybe? Yes, shift right-click. Yeah, so this does not give us crafting. There is a universal grid, but I'm not sure if this would even be worth it. It's not expensive, for say, but it is kind of like weird because it's using a lot of AE2 stuff. Let's see. We also do need to grab a fluid grid for this one, which I'm assuming this is not going to do what I want it to at all. But let me craft it. Okay, so this actually does have a crafting grid in this. All you need to do is go up to this top left button, click crafting grid, and if you want to go to fluid grid, you can actually do that here as well. So we could set this to JEI 2-way. Perfect. And now we have that. Of course, I do need to set up a control, and I'm not sure. Let's see, universal. Okay. Which is my backpack. That's going to be an issue. Okay, hold on. Let's do universal. Not that. Reset that one. And we should be able to set this here. There we go. So now we have autocraft, or not auto crafting. So now we have refined storage anywhere in our base, basically. Well, anywhere in this kind of like small area, which is fantastic. I heard like walking around a minute ago. Oh, there's like a little squirrel guy from Ad Astra, I think, walking around somewhere. Yeah, he's on top of my base. That's where I heard footsteps. I was kind of wondering. But let's see how far this actually goes. So we're kind of a little bit away. A little bit further. Yeah, okay. So we don't have range really at all. But what I could do to circumvent that is put some wireless access points on that and then the one over there. But for right now, I'm fine. Bees. I've got powered centrifuges, which I'm actually going to place back here, kind of get this out of the way, but also kind of centralize its location. We're just going to place down 8 of these. We've got a flux point as well, which we can come downstairs. Place this, power surge, all of that stuff, and we should be able to then power all of these. Let's grab the create wrench real fast, just because it's an easier wrench to grab. There we go. So everything should have power. Fantastic. So the next thing is inside of this beehive here, like our main beehive, we have honeycombs. I've taken out most of them, hence why there's nothing in there. But what we can do is we should be able to plop in a honeycomb, and this will, of course, use power to then generate wax and honey. Ooh, that's interesting looking. Where's that honey going? Why is the honey, like, disappearing? Am I losing my mind? What in the world is happening? Okay, so I wasn't wrong. I think it's actually, like, pushing between these, which is strange, but I don't know where... Okay, so let's just do this then. If that's an issue... Here, hold on. Let's just take these guys out. We can just kind of make this a little longer. We could actually stagger this, right? So just do something like that. Maybe we get another one to fill in this spot right here as well. And that's working, right? We're now, okay, now we're generating honey, but we're also generating wax, which is just kind of like used for wax blocks, which I think actually can be crafting materials. Yeah, so there's like changes the production output of blocks, or 2 blocks instead of chips for lumber and quarry bees. So that's pretty interesting. But now we're getting honey. And what we can do with honey is actually get a bucket. And we should be able to kind of just scoop the honey out of this. That is a very terrible looking honey texture, but okay. Is that right? Okay, that is right. Productive bees. Okay, so now we should be able to make a honey generator. We're actually kind of just going off the quest, by the way. Just so you guys know. Not the bees. This is actually the honey generator. And I'm not really caring about the bees. I just really wanted to get all of this stuff. So that way we can actually kind of work on figuring this all out. 20% decrease in time spent in the hive can be installed in centrifuges for faster processing. Multiple upgrades can be installed for greater production. Okay. So I could actually just take this and have this thing like produce significantly quicker, which is cool. How much are these? Oh, they aren't that expensive. We could probably get a couple for the actual hives in here. Alrighty. So let's quickly talk about how I automated the honey here. And the first thing is just using laser IO to pull the items and the fluid out, and then sending it to either this ender tank or to the actual ender chest. And then this, of course, is filtered to honeycombs. So that's the only thing being pulled out. And then in here, you can see that there's ender chests connected to the beehives, which are pulling out the honeycombs every single time, which is fantastic. And then it melts down and it becomes honey. And yeah, it's fantastic. Alrighty, so we're almost done with honey tier 1. I don't really know what's next. So let's take a look here. So overpowered, we need just a little bit more honey, of course. Get some XP for that. The precision budding, 16 budding amethyst, precision mechanism, mushroom rice, 128 netherite ingots. That one's not going to be hard at all. Okay. And then automatic alloying. I don't know what this is. Let's see. So it looks like we can get one from a shady wizard villager. Do we have any information on that? Shady wizard. We need an arcane core. Okay. So it looks like we need a few things. Obtained by placing lapis or amethyst in a Bumit chamber. So we're going to have to get into Ars Nueva a little bit for that. Simple machine frame. Okay, so we're going to have to get into Industrial Foregoing for that. Invar. That's not going to be that hard. That gives us a Silk Touch Chance Pigment. Or Pendant, not Pigment. Tier 3 Chance Pendant. Compact Giant Chance Cube will probably cause lots of damage and/or place a lot of blocks down. You've been warned. Ultimate Induction Cell, Provider, Infinity Backpack. Okay. So we're definitely getting up there, right? I think we'll be able to get the honey this episode, and I think we should be able to start looking at the budding amethyst. How do we pick these up? I don't know what that is. Bastion Treasures and Bastion Hogland Stables. Okay, so I don't know anything. I mean, I guess we could attempt to see what happens if I just break one of these. Oh, we actually pick it up. Okay. Well, that's how you get that. So all I need to do is just come around here, and I can replace these. Alrighty, so we've picked up 16 of these, and we've also placed down several more diamond blocks than what I've had over there to replace over time. And of course, it does take time, so I won't know how long that'll take, but that's okay. Let's quickly take a peek at this. Alright, so we're still waiting, but let's keep looking at this, because I genuinely don't know what's up. So 1 million FE, 100 buckets of latex, aether gas, and liquid DT fuel. Okay, so we're going to get into mechanism. We're going to get into industrial foregoing. All right. How do you obtain these? Oh, okay. That's not terrible. Elementium, pink slime, drenched iron. We have to get into elemental craft. Creative waxing kit. Alright, I don't know what that is, but that's something. Charged Certus quartz, okay. It looks like we're going to have to also get into precision mechanisms, which I've actually never done. But I think we could figure out how to automate that. Probably. I'm assuming you can do, like, first step, second step, third step. Just have one deploy the small cogwheel, the large cogwheel, and then the iron cogwheel as it moves through, and then it just cycles back until it's done. Or, you know, we could just do 5 different stations. I mean, I really don't care. But we will have to automate large cogwheels actually being crafted, which it looks like there is a way to do it with the deployer, or we could just auto craft them somehow. I think, do we have any auto crafters? Sequential fabricator. Okay. So that's something to look at. Gargantuan flux storage. So it looks like we definitely need to get into auto crafting. So let's look at that. What is auto crafting with refined storage? So first things first, we need a crafter. So refined crafter. And I don't think we have reborn storage, right? Nothing like that. No crafting CPUs. Okay. Just wanted to make sure, because that is the better crafting system for refined storage, but it is an add-on, so... Alright, we don't have tiers of crafters, so that's going to make things just a little bit more of a pain, but that's okay. So let's grab a machine casing, and let's grab a crafter. We're also going to need a pattern terminal. Is it called terminal? Pattern grid, there we go. AE2s are terminals. Alright. So we're going to make a stack plus 1 of patterns, and then we're going to make a pattern grid. This pattern grid actually probably should go right here. So let's do that, and then we can just mine this block. That'll be fine. Do that. 4. Okay. So then we can put patterns in here. And of course we can do simple things like chests. If we wanted to make sure we have auto crafting of chests, we could do that. We could do basically anything, right? At Laser.io, for example, I could grab a recipe for this. I could grab a recipe for the raw logic chips. There we go. And then we can actually take a crafter. And I think I'm going to remove this. I'm going to run a line and then facade or cable facade and all that stuff. This crafter, and we're just gonna have multiple crafters on this wall and maybe like partially down that wall. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so we've got the cable ran, and now what we can do is we can just take these patterns, toss them in here. I guess we could always just open this up here, and we could type in, for example, chest, and I'm just gonna view by craftables. You can see that we can come in here, we can grab, 128 chests. Of course, we don't know how to make oak planks. Kind of forgot about that. Crucial step, but that's okay. So we could just come in here. We could quickly teach this how to make oak planks. And there is a way to add from a grid, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the grid's actually called. Crafting. Also set this to JEI two-way. At refined grid. There are several different types of grids. Grid, crafting grid, pattern grid, fluid grid, and I believe there's monitors as well. So we've got the storage monitor, crafting monitor. I'm pretty sure this actually gives you the crafting status. So let's actually craft up a crafting monitor. No, okay, I found it. It's called the crafting manager. This is the thing I was looking for. So this actually requires a little bit of stuff. So I'm going to bookmark it. I'm going to craft it real quick, and I'll be right back. Alright, so crafting manager. I also did make the crafting monitor, but the crafting manager actually lets you see the current crafters that you have access to. You could take patterns out, you could put patterns back in. And this, for example, would be useful for, a wide range of crafters, because crafters not only can be used for auto crafting normal crafting recipes. Let's actually quickly get into what else they can do. So, a crafter, let's make one more of these bad boys. And we can definitely work on getting the basic processors and stuff set up here. Let's see. So crafter. And I probably want to get a smelter. And we'll kind of keep the auto crafting up here somehow. Somewhere, right? So let's grab this. And then let's grab the upgraded version. And let's upgrade this one more time if we can. Okay. So then we want a flux point. Just so we can have power up here. Alright, let's go run over into this corner. And I think I'm just going to run a cable all the way along this again. But I don't know how we're going to power these. I guess the crafter can sit here. Actually, we can just set the crafter probably right about here. Smelting factory. No, one more. One more block away. Because we need to have a pipe or something in between a chest here, pipe, and then this. Because this cannot actually auto input. So we're going to have to do that. And then auto output on the top. And we could just pipe back in into the actual crafter, I believe. I think. Actually, we might need an interface. We'll see. Okay, let's go grab more cables, place them all down, and I'll be right back. Okay, so something like this, right? So we've got the smelter. Let's actually toggle this. And we can turn this to auto sort. And we actually do need to get the power set down here. So now we should have an automatable smelting process. So what we can do is we can come back over to the pattern grid here, and we could say processors, right? So we could craft this, and this will change to processing, and we can grab raw advanced processors to advanced processor, basic processor to, or raw to non-raw, and the same thing with the improved. And then of course we can keep going with this. We can actually craft each individual processor themselves. And we'll have to get quartz enriched iron and stuff as well. But we'll do that in a second. Okay, so we've got all three of those. Let's get the processor binding. Oop, didn't mean to throw that in there. Let's just keep going. Okay, there we go. And then we actually need, where was it at? Quartz enriched iron. Okay, now let's grab that last pattern we threw in here. And we can go into the crafting manager. So this crafter here is actually going to be the chest that we have over yonder. And we can throw in the rest of these. Perfect. And we can come back over here. And we can see that everything is over here. So now if I want to request a processor, so for example, if I wanted, let's see, only craftables, and I want 64 of these, start, we can see that these are starting to come over here. One of the things we also can do is actually grab some acceleration. Isn't it acceleration? At refined, upgrade, there is the speed upgrades. I think they're just genuinely speed upgrades. I don't think they're anything else. So we could actually grab a couple out of here. Let's grab a few of those. Quartz enriched iron. Let's just craft up some of that ourselves because I don't feel like auto crafting that right now. There we go. Speed upgrades. Toss these in here. And then toss these in here. That'll speed everything up just a wee bit. And then we want to get rid of that connection. And we just toss these into the interface. We probably should speed up that as well. Okay. All right, but that is working. Fantastic. Now we're kind of getting to that point of automating. I am going to set up probably a little bit more of this automation off camera. I don't know if I mentioned, but I do have stone and glass automation. All the way in the back there is glass, and then in the front here is stone. Going any further than where that glass is actually out of this drawer controller's range, so hence why I had to do that. Also, it like hurts my eyes to look over in that direction with how stuttery it becomes. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap up this episode here. Thank you guys so much for watching another episode of FTB Skies. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like and or subscribe. I always love hearing from you guys. Feedback is always greatly appreciated. And thank you. Stay awesome. Bye-bye.